Hello and welcome. I'm Master Lama Rasaji, and this is our Thursday edition of Rasaji Speaks. You might wonder why I don't have my PFL background on, and that is because this is tour week and there's no PFL live broadcast. But what there is over 50 recorded PFLs, and last week was the recording of our new website. So if you're feeling like I need help with money front door, money back door, or the website, take this time this week. If you're not at the tour, which you should be, because we're cranking up. As a matter of fact, today we're having our first teachers special afternoon training for teachers at the tour that start this afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern time. So that's exciting. Last week, Lama G messed up a little bit about Dr. Jeannie and didn't realize that she was unavailable to come. So next week, we're hoping that she can be our guest and that we'll share with you more about the science and the art of acupuncture healing. Today's topic is a very interesting topic, and that is toxicity turnaround, exiting harmful relationships. Wow. Once you get here, you hear this. A lot of health and longevity has the ability to stay ahead of what the city yoga masters call the pollution process. No, it's not the new age religion that a lot of people to the far left are trying to make us swallow. That you've got to use EV cars when the reality is we don't have enough stations to support if 50% of our cars were electric right now. We just don't. As a matter of fact, if trucks were electric, especially the bigger trucks like the, 16 wheelers, you would have to rebuild our bridges. They couldn't handle the weight. Nobody's talking about that, right? It's a pie in the sky idea. So the point is, I'm not talking about the pollution or carbon pollution. That's part of it. It's a mild part of it from what city yoga masters are talking about. One of the things that cars do by us driving an electric or combustible engine is it makes us lazy to walk. And when you understand what walking does to your energy body and to your physical body, the benefit of your true chanda, that is creating issues. That's why obesity, one of the reasons in the Western culture, obesity is huge. We don't walk enough. We just don't. You go to certain Asian countries, certain Middle Eastern countries, certain third world countries, the modus operandi of travel is still walking. From our parents and grandparents' generation, sometimes walking to school was a 2 to 5 mile deal. And they had to leave early enough, 30 minutes to an hour a day, just to do that. And then after school, they would go home. If they had no other exercise, think about that 2 to 5 miles there, 2 to 5 miles back. Well, guess what? There wasn't the obesity back in the 30s and the 40s that there is today. That was part of the issue. But today we're talking about the toxicity of human relationships. Boyang and Boganath are both agree. The best relationships to form in the beginning is here. Form it with nature, connect to plants, one day to animals, and then graduate up to humans. Unfortunately, most people did not go through that modus operandi. Most people got into a codependent situation. They came into a relationship not whole to start with, hoping that the relationship they had would help make them whole. It doesn't work too well. So when I ask them to do a column exercise, after they've done a few other column exercise, relationship is a lot of times one of the last column exercise they do. I know myself, I was doing column exercise before decades before I thought, why don't I do them on human relationships? Well, if you're one of those persons, it's probably time to start doing it. The next yin cycle is only about 60 days away. What are you going to do when that comes? Another reason that they don't do it, it's a fear that they would have to make a change. See, at the root of all column exercise is that same fear. Oh my God, Lama G, I might have to change. You ever heard the adage, keep doing what you've always thought and what you've always done, and you'll get the same results. And thinking that that's going to change, the philosophers of the world said that's insanity. That's the definition of insanity. That's that hamster wheel unconsciously running across the hamster wheel, right? Is that you? The key is you should choose. You should use your free will and choose. The other reason that people don't do that is that they might have to change and realize, oh my God, I've been living, I've been sleeping, I've been talking, I've been eating with a person that, according to this column exercise, I shouldn't even be associating with this person. And I am having this affair or this relationship, maybe even a marriage with someone. Wow, that is the El Kabong wake up of all wake ups when you realize that. That's toxicity. That is a toxic relationship. What are you going to do about it? Well, it's more to that. Well, there's the kids, Lama Chi, there's the grandkids. Here's the thing. You come here, you want to grow. It's hard to grow with one foot on the riverbank and one foot in the boat, you know? Jesus says, take up your cross and follow me. What does that mean? Take up your cross. When you understand what he did on the cross, you should have a little bit better idea. It has everything to do with commitment. Unfortunately, a codependent is more committed to the person they have the codependent relationship with than they're committed to their soul and their spirit. And that is a huge eye opener when you realize that. Then it is, what are you going to do about it? When you realize that you're committed to that codependent relationship, that neediness, that pretending that it doesn't happen, that relationship, you've got a lot of work to do. And here's the outcome. The outcome is you will soar like we did in 24, as the dragon did, right? You'll have to let some things go. There's a good chance you have to let a person go, right? Recently, one of the most basic things, I caught just a commercial of one of those reality shows where you're riding around with the cops and they're getting ready to make a bust. You know what I'm talking about. He comes up to this three people. There's two guys and a girl. And it's very clear to the cops that the only one clean of drugs in the group was the girl, not the guys. He said one of the most basic things that most people, even here with us, sometimes have a problem realizing and facing that truth. And he was, ma'am, it's going to be a lot easier for you to stay clean of drugs by not hanging out with drug addicts. Wow. Wow. Or alcoholics, if you've been an alcoholic, right? Change your friend. I mean, that's kind of like AA 101. First, you admit what you've done. Number two, look around and say, this mirror looks a lot like what I've been doing the last 10 or 20 years, right? Right? So, what are you going to do about that? If you're in a toxic relationship, another thing that I see from time to time is people have graduated from that, but they still in their aura have this toxicity and they're carrying it into other relationships. And a lot of times they don't even know that. When I'm advising someone who's been intimate with another human being, I often tell them you need to spend about 6 to 18 months working on you and 12 to 36 months of not being intimate with any other human being. Now, when you think how the world teaches, can you imagine how opposite that is compared? Most people leave a relationship of one codependency to only pick up another relationship of the other codependencies. Maybe they're a little bit more sexier. Maybe they look a little bit better. And you think, oh my God, I'm graduating. Not really. Not really, right? Because when you spend 6 to 18 months doing a 45-day renewal, and you tell people you're going to fast from being intimate with somebody else, buddy, howdy, what you process emotionally, you definitely want to have your journal around because as that stuff surfaces, you want to write that down. And it will show you how you went from one relationship to the other because you just didn't want to fix one. You didn't want to fix you. Rumi, today I woke up and I was inspired. I want to change the world. A few days later, he wakes up and he says, now I'm enlightened, for I have looked in the mirror, and the person that I need to change is me, myself, and I. That's it. That's it. I hope today has enlightened you a little bit, and I hope that it will make it clear for you. Always lead by example and ask yourself in any relationship, why are you in that relationship? Is it to enhance the Holy Spirit? Is it to block the Holy Spirit? Is it try to manipulate someone to do for you what you're not willing to do for yourself? Buddy, howdy, that's raw, and that's in the mirror. And that's Lama G always telling you the truth. Baraka Bashad, may the blessings be to you and your glorious family. I think there's a couple of people that have canceled at the last minute. There might be 2 or 3 tickets for Philly if you feel in need to go there, especially if you're living in the Pennsylvania area. Also, there is a few more spots on live streaming this Saturday. You're not going to want to miss that. The announcements alone will be powerful. The other thing that is happening is early registration For Nashville, our last event this year in Music City, USA, just happened to be a group of 108 people. That went out a few days ago. We always do that because this Sunday, people will have the second option. But think about it. It went out to 108 people. I'm going to let you in on a secret. There's a few less seats available in Nashville than were in Philly because the room is bigger than most rooms we have, but it's about 20 to 25% smaller than Philly and Tucson. It's more like Grand Rapids. So we probably can hold 75 to 85 people, and we're growing. So keep that in mind if you want to go to the last event before the holiday seasons. And watch out for the Advent season because we've got some real spectacular things that were happening. We're so happy about the new site. I'll brag on Andy and John and what they've done, around the clock. Brother Nate and his people helping them out. I'm real appreciative. Wellness Center is coming together in St. Augustine. And next year is just going to be an explosion in the year of the snake. We arrive in 25. God bless you all. Love you much. See you tomorrow.